What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today I have for you guys another exciting unboxing to dig into. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. So, what we have for you guys today is the first Kershaw that we have had in on the channel in a very long time. This is something that I stumbled across on Amazon, and I hadn't had a Kershaw in forever, so I figured I would check it out. Very affordable. These come in under 50 bucks. Now, this is not going to be out of their USA line, I don't believe. I think this is probably from their Chinese line. This is going to be called the Iridium, and I've been into crossbar locks quite a bit over the last couple of months. And I'm in the process of taking a look at quite a few different ones. And Kershaw here, they have some crossbar locking knives coming out. And I figured I would give one a shot before I maybe go and spend more money on maybe one of their more premium offerings. So we are centered. And this is going to be an aluminum handle. We have a nice minimal clip here, and it will be reversible, no filler tab there. We do have a nice back spacer there with an integrated lanyard hole. Let's see. Now, I believe they did, I think somebody told me they did two different blade shapes off of the Iridium. They did this drop point, and then I think they did a sheep's foot or a Warncliffe, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think I've seen that one quite yet. But this has got a satin finished D2 drop point blade. And Kershaw does a very good job with their D2. Yeah, that don't feel bad at all. That's pretty good right there, actually. I wasn't sure what to expect out of this guy. I was hoping that it would be good, obviously, but you know, I wasn't sure what to expect. Kershaw's kind of hit or miss with some of their stuff, but this one seems to be pretty solid as far as the opening action goes. The springs seem pretty strong. This actually is a decent size. I didn't look at the specs before I bought it as far as the size. I knew it was coming in D2 and aluminum, which is... The aluminum kind of finished the selling of it for me. I had been looking at it, and then I was like, well, it does come in aluminum. And for under 50 bucks, you know, D2 with a satin finish, aluminum, you know, and it's Kershaw. I figured, you know, why not? I do have a fresh wound on my finger. Yes, you don't need to let me know. But we're going to really see how well this thing is made. Why don't we first see what it looks like in the pocket here. We're going to have just a little bit poking out there. We do have a lower mounted deep carry clip, so we will have just a little bit poking out. The retention seems pretty good on this guy. Now, it will be just the dual thumb studs for the deployment. And the satin finish on this guy is pretty nice, I have to say. Looks pretty good. Yeah. You can see the grind lines. It looks pretty good. I could do without the Kershaw there on the front of the blade, but not the end of the world. Pretty much everybody is doing that at this point, or a lot of companies are doing the branding on the blade. We could really just do without that. And then they got it there again on the pocket clip. Why don't we go ahead and we'll see what kind of edge came on this guy. We got our thin telephone book paper here. And yeah, she seems to be cutting pretty good. Pretty good, actually, not bad. We can go ahead and we'll see what it does up against some cardboard as well. This is not going to be a thicker piece. It's more of like a single ply, but a little bit thinner. But it still should give us a good idea on, you know, how that edge came out of the box, and it's a pretty thin blade. It seems to be cutting very, very well, and it's actually pretty comfortable in hand for these lighter duty type cuts. Not bad at all on the ergonomics, and the blade is nice and sharp. Yeah, that's got a nice blade on it. That is good to go there on the edge of this guy. Seems to be pretty good. I know recently, over the last couple of weeks, or maybe even it's been a little bit longer, but Kershaw put out a knife in MagnaCut with the crossbar lock, and I wanted to check it out, but it's been a long time since I've bought a Kershaw or had a Kershaw in, and you know, I figured this would be a inexpensive way to get a Kershaw on, check out their crossbar lock. Now, with that being said, you know, those ones are going to be USA made. This is going to be Chinese made. So, you know, in theory, that one should be, you know, quite a bit better. Is that always the case? No, it's not. But it should be fairly reminiscent, you know, how they design it and that sort of thing. It should be fairly similar in how it acts and how it works, how strong it is. And I figured if they could nail it on this one, then the more premium one that they just put out should be a pretty solid design. But Kershaw is known to do their D2 very well. What do they have it at? I'm not sure. We have a little emblem down there on the edge. You don't really see that too often. And then, I'm not sure why, but they do put China on the blade. I'm not sure, you know, what's the point of that? I'm not real sure why that's necessary. You could just put it on the box that it comes in, you know, label it that it's, you know, made in China. Let's see, do they do that on the box as well? They don't have it on the tag. Yeah, right there, made in China. You don't need to put it on the damn blade. I mean, designed in the U.S., made in China. You don't really need to re-put it on the blade. It's just unnecessary, in my opinion. Just do the D2 steel marking and, you know, let that be it on the clip side. You know, get rid of it on the clip. I mean, if anything, I'd rather it be on the clip than on the front of the blade there. But I could really just do without either of them. They need somebody to come up with a logo and just put it on the pivot. I mean, if you don't have a logo, I don't really ever see one from Kershaw. Just have somebody make you a cool K or something and put it on the pivot. At least it's small and kind of shadowed, so it looks decent. So that's not a huge issue to me. It's not as bad as some of the branding that you see from certain companies where it's just, you know, ridiculously big. They got their emblem, they got the name, you know, they're just too much on the blade. In order to make this look really nice, you know, keep that off the blade, guys. I mean, people have been saying that for a long time. And you know damn well, maybe not my channel, my videos, but there are companies that see these same videos from bigger creators and they say, no, we don't want it. Nobody wants the branding on the blade, on the front of the blade. I mean, if anything, put it on the back of the damn knife, you know? If you want to put your company name and the model and the name of the knife and all that shit and serial numbers, do it on the back of the knife. I mean, that makes the most sense to me. You still have your branding, you know, on the knife. In this case, we have it twice. I just think that's just a little too much, in my opinion. Just pick one and leave it at that. You know, if you have to do it, if they feel like they have to have it on there, just do one or the other. We're going to go ahead and we're going to test this lock and see how it is. There's no up and down, and there's no side to side. If I really wrench on it, I can get a tiny bit of movement, but that's kind of the nature of the beast there. So let's see what kind of lock strength we have here. See, there is a little bit. If I really wrench on it, there is a little bit of up and down. Open it, close it. We'll do it one more. I have not had many crossbar lock knives fail. I would say for the most part, or for a big part, crossbar locks are gonna be pretty stout when it comes to the lockup and, you know, it being a little bit of a safer lock. I've only had one time, and I don't know what the circumstance, you know, with the knife was, but one crossbar lock one time did fail. But the knife only failed that one time, and it hasn't failed since then. So I think that was just kind of a, I don't know, anomaly, if you will, with that specific knife. I don't even want to bring it up because it's really, you know, a non-point because it doesn't do it. It did that one time, and I don't even know if it was locked up all the way properly. So with that all being said, that would be the only crossbar lock I've had. And I'm talking all the way down to, you know, $20, $30 F and Grow, you know, companies that make crossbar locking knives, Ganzo, down in the $20, $30 price point. Even those crossbar locks are nice and solid. So, you know, you would definitely expect 50, 40, 50, 60 to be solid, and then especially up from there. But, yeah, this Iridium, you know, all in all, I think it's a cool knife, and I'm glad to have a Kershaw on the channel. You know, it's lighter weight. I like the blade shape. I like the size of this knife. I do like how they make it so it's able to be carried by our lefty brothers out there. The price point is not bad, you know, considering aluminum and D2, and they didn't skimp out on the finish. They did go with a nice satin finish, which I'm cool with. You know, they gave a little touch on the blade there with that flat here. The backspacer is a very nice touch. I'm not sure if that's just some sort of anodized aluminum or, yeah, it's something like that. It's some sort of aluminum or something. So that's kind of a cool contrast that they have there. I guess it could it be copper, but it's not really, the knife is not heavy, so I'm not sure if it's aluminum or what. It's not titanium. Definitely not. But ergonomics, it feels good in hand. And then there's not a designated spot for a choke up, but you could definitely choke up here on this flat to get right up behind that blade. And it would be another nice spot for, you know, a controlled index type cut as well. So you definitely have some options when it comes to, you know, gripping this knife. It's not a massive knife, but there's definitely enough handle there, you know, to get a good, comfortable grip. Now, if you're in the standard grip and you have any bigger hands than me, if you have like 2XL sized hands, you might start to work your way off the back end of this blade. I have just enough room there to get a full purchase and be pretty comfortable on this guy. We'll do a full overview of this guy coming up. You'll have to let me know what you think of this Kershaw. I hope Kershaw makes a resurgence because they're one of the companies along with ZT that, you know, they did come out with the live wire. Yeah, that's great. But being a U.S. company that makes USA knives. You know, they do have their Chinese line as well, but my hopes for Kershaw are similar of that as Schrade. I'd really love to see Schrade more so than Kershaw, you know, put the pedal to the metal and really start pumping out some good stuff. And I want Kershaw to do so as well. The more U.S. options we have, the better off we're going to be. We need more USA-made knives that are in or under that $100 price point, because there's just not many of them. And the ones that are existing right now are just, a lot of them are not that great. So it would be nice to have some USA companies who are making a decent knife, you know, or a good knife, and it be under that $100 price point. It would be very nice, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Really helps out the video, guys. Let me know what you think, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.